if you mess with us. Okay, we're going to come kick your door in and point guns at you. Okay? If she's not on notice when she had authorization to go in there, that not having authorization would be a crime, and wasn't put on notice that you're no longer allowed to access this server, okay, she's off the hook. Okay? So I know all this. I've done dozens of these. She's not going to have a problem with this. But they have all her information. Okay? And there was even get this too. The judge who signed this search warrant, this is the first action he's taken as a judge. He was just appointed as a judge by DeSantis last month. Okay? Now, also, too, another thing, too, is there's no damages. Okay? How has the state of Florida been damaged by her logging and sending out emails saying, hey, everybody, tell the truth about COVID? There's no damages over that. Normally, when they prosecute these kind of cases, it's because someone hacked in, they stole information, they stole your bank account money, they're threatening you, they're destroying your computer, they're stealing information from your computer. This is you logged in and sent an email. There's no damages to that. Just the fact that they even got a search warrant to go after this woman over these kind of charges is outrageous. But there's more outrage in this case that the average person is not aware of. And that is, this woman had previous charges. She was arrested months and months and months. I think, right after this whole thing happened. I think it was back in March. Or it might have been April or May. I apologize. I don't have it in my notes here because I was working on the TrueAnon thing all day long. We were talking about the Hunter Biden laptop. And I don't even have a voice to use tonight, okay? Now get this. She was arrested, this woman, okay, on cyber stalking and revenge porn charges. And you can pull this up and you can read. Oh, I don't have it here. It's, too bad. But the whole complaint is online. You can find it. Maybe I can upload, when I upload the show to the Patreon, I'll find that link and I'll upload it so you can read all the complaint. Now, right now, I have a client, a potential client, coming to me. She's talking to me. She wants to hire me. She doesn't have the money. She's in trouble. She's calling up the cops. The cops won't help her. Same kind of case, but 50 times worse. She got an ex-boyfriend who's stalking her, harassing her, mailing nude pictures of her all over the place to her employer. Okay, now this woman, Rebecca Jones, had a beef with an ex-boyfriend who she believes, I don't think there's a paternity case, is the father of her child. She was contacting him, trying to get medical information. He wouldn't turn it over. They were fighting back and forth, cursing each other out. And she was documenting the whole thing on a blog about her interactions with this man. He said, she said, kind of fight. Okay, back and forth, mutual combat. Okay. Somehow, by the way, they're in two different cities, too. Okay, two different cities. Okay. Now, if you got to a situation like this, right, going on a fight on the internet, but they live in the same city, you can call up the cops and say, listen, at least go over to his house and tell him to stop bothering me, And a lot of times that'll work. Okay, and I can get that to happen. In this case here, the police from one city call up the police her in another city and say, we want you to come down, okay, and be interviewed, okay? And they do this big, long investigation. It's like a 4-page complaint they put together against this woman, documenting every instance of an email and all this kind of nonsense and stuff like that. You never get this. You never get the cops to do this kind of work over something, again, that's what? She posted one nude picture of this guy and was arguing with him back and forth about the custody of their child and medical information over their child. Every divorced couple is doing stuff like that. I've got cases where the woman can't afford to hire me. Otherwise, I could get this guy at least, some pressure on him. I can put together a case and pressure the cops to go down and visit him. Maybe he's on probation. Maybe he's on parole. Then we got a real leverage over the guy. We can take him down. But the average person calls the cops and says, hey, man, I need help. There's not. I got people stalking me all day long. I got people, dangerous people that, armed, dangerous people that have arrests over kidnapping. I got crazy people out there. Okay? And sometimes I got people out there, too, pretending they're crazy. Just to, I don't know what. Get my attention or get a rise out of me. I don't know what. But it's very difficult, okay, to get these people arrested, to get them charged. And here they arrest this woman on these revenge porn charges and cyber stalking charges. Now, once it got to court, the DA didn't bother with these charges, and the judge threw it out. They never even got to the judge. It got thrown out by the DA's office. So, but then this just goes to show you how much they're targeting this woman. It's not just what you're seeing right now, how they're targeting her with this case here, with the search warrant. Okay, this is a whole thing going on here. Now, real quick, I want to mention Silk City Hot Sauce. Okay, this is their short version of their commercial. A small batch hot sauce prepared with farm-grown peppers, rich and vibrant taste, and no artificial ingredients. 100% pure goodness. 8 flavors from mild to wild. The sweet and spicy mango madness, the green jalapeno sauce called Aztec Attack. The dragon features fire-roasted peppers and pure Vermont maple syrup. Killer hot sauce is for the pure hot sauce fanatic, a blend of ghost peppers, habanero peppers, and honey and garlic, and more. And you got to see the bottles. Each flavor has original comic book artwork. You got to see them. Okay, listen, go to silkcityhotsauce.com. Enter promo code ED, say 15%, and you'll also get to receive a free bottle of hot sauce. I just plugged them. You know, what we did was, because Chuanon interviewed me tonight for an hour, talking about the Hunter Biden laptop situation. All right. So, Brace, at least, I know listens to this show. So he says, Ed, I want to be just like you and say, the first question is going to be, tell us about yourself. Who is Ed Opperman? So I tell him, Brace, Ed Opperman loves hot sauce. And you go to silkcityhotsauce.com, enter promo code Ed, and you say 15%. You'll also receive a free bottle of hot sauce. You know, that show, Truanon, is the number 4 Patreon podcast. You know, they got a ton of people listening to that show. Man. I was getting a lot of good response. And we had a lot of fun, too. They really cheered me up because I was losing my voice. And I'm fighting this battle over here with all these people, you know. Struggling. So, I was telling you before that as a young man, I learned that when you have a crisis or when you have a problem, no matter what the problem is, there's always a path. If you can just figure it out, if you can just find it, there's always a way to get out of that problem, but get out of it in better shape than you went into it. And I'm going to tell you what, and I'm doing it right now with this situation here. I'm working on this, man, okay? I got a team here working with me of real estate agents, credit repair guys, mortgage brokers, and I believe, I think you're going to be shocked when I come out of this, okay? We found a place that's much better than this. It's in a much nicer neighborhood, and I thought it was going to be cheaper, but it might be the same amount. But we'll be good. We're going to be okay? We still need donations to get us through this month because I got to take Vic up to D.C. I'm going to have to spend like a month in an Airbnb. So any kind of funds you can help us out with, you can go to oppermanreport@gmail.com and send me a little PayPal there. Or you go to oppermanreport.com. There's a bunch of donate buttons on there as well, too. oppermanreport.com. Or become a Patreon. Sign up to Patreon. You know, I got a lot of new content going up there. Later on tonight, by the way, we have Jared Garrett, who grew up in the Process Church of Final Judgment. And I had him on the show. I was telling him stuff he didn't even I was telling him more about the Process Church than he knew about. Sent him a bunch of documents and pictures and stuff like that, too, after the show. And then Jake Hanrahan, fascinating guy who's like this war correspondent. Very enjoyable, fun conversation with him about his different adventures and stuff like that. We got along very well. But let me tell you, a couple of times when I was a kid, about 19 years old, all right, I've told a story before about how I was in the middle of that marijuana deal, and I met Richard Biegenwald, the serial killer. And these guys from Tennessee would come bring up marijuana from Tennessee to Staten Island. And I would try and purchase as much of it as I could. And so we'd have to find a place to do the deal. And one time we did the deal in Richard Biegenwald's mother's house on Staten Island. And we're in there. It wasn't a big deal, considering, later on, maybe like $10,000, $15,000 or something like that involved. And during the deal, Biegenwald pulls out this shotgun, waving it around as a joke, like he's going to rip me off, But all the guys there were guys I worked with for years and years and years. Pete Peaches, who was like an organized crime guy, and this guy Tom, who was like a ex Vietnam vet and a biker guy, And these are all guys that were loyal to me. I didn't have any problems with these guys. I didn't have any worries, that they're going to bring me to a place where I'm going to get ripped off. These guys are my guys. Made them a lot of money. Plus, we hung out, we socialized. So, although later on, Tom, when he had a case, he did try and set me up, but I forgave him for it. I didn't fall for it. I think he got like 25 years, man, for marijuana. DEA raided his farm down there in Tennessee. But these same guys, about a year or two later, right, were back in town, and I was buying up all their merchandise. And I'm sitting in my little studio condo there. I was about 19 years old. And might have been younger, about 18 years old. And I used to call into WBAI and do these bits and characters and stuff like that on WBAI. I had, first I used to go down there in person. I used to be a caller first, and then one time they picked up the phone and says, "Hey man, you got to come down here and and help us out." And you could screen calls for us, you can do this for us, you can do voiceovers, and you could do your calling your bits here from the studio. The audio would be much better. But then after a while, it was Friday night, late at night, and I used to like to drink, so I didn't like to go down there anymore. I used to like to smoke pot too. So I would do it from my little studio apartment, and we had a special phone that had like a microphone, a real microphone like I have now, but it was an old-fashioned one, and headsets that you could listen to and talk into the microphone with this phone. Much better setup than I have now, as a matter of fact. And so I was doing one of my bits, and I called in there, and I had just finished, and the phone starts ringing. And I said, it's probably one of my friends calling me up to tell me they listened in and they enjoyed the show. But it wasn't. Okay, what happened was, I had a friend on Staten Island who was my same age, and he was selling marijuana too. But we got along with each other. I would buy from him occasionally too, and I would pay him $9.50 a pound. Okay, but my Tennessee guys, I can get it for a lot less. So he had taken me over to, because I guess he didn't have money to put up or whatever, and he took me up to the Holiday Inn to finance a marijuana deal with these guys up from Mexico, who were smuggling marijuana up from Mexico to Arizona and then giving it to this guy in Staten Island. And we had to go there at the Holiday Inn on Staten Island and meet with them and put together this deal. Let me see how we're doing on time. We're pretty good. You know what? Let's take a break. Be right back after these messages. Maybe I'll even tell it I had hot sauce. SilkCityHotSauce.com. 15% off. Put in promo code ED and get a free bottle of hot sauce. Be right back after this. And now a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front load